it down the stretch. That's to be expected. How did you cope with that?
I'm a dog. I put work in, day out.
So, coming into the 2024 season, JA Morant was facing an uphill battle with all the off-court antics raising concerns for some people, but when he made his return, he made sure to do it in a high fashion. In his first game back, JA Morant led the Grizzlies to a win over the Pelicans with a buzzer-beater finish, and after this, all eyes were for sure on what Morant would do going forward. Ultimately, Morant would be ruled out with an injury that would end his season, but during his 9 games, the Grizzlies went 6-3 when he was on the court. Not only was JA Morant throwing down high-flying dunks and nasty crossovers for smooth finishes, he was also manipulating defenses with his driving threat to set up teammates. When coming off this high screen, Ja has the option to hit Tillman right here, but with the defense being pretty tight, this could turn into a steal. So by dragging that handle out, attracting 2 defenders, it makes this switch in the paint happen, and now this slick pass to Tillman down low is an easy bucket. With his scoring presence being such a threat to the defense, you'll see defenders choose to force the ball out of his hands with these doubles, but look right here what they leave open on the backside, a wide open slam for Tillman. It's crucial that defenses don't get too attached or tunnel vision when guarding Morant, because his passing isn't lackluster like some people might assume, so here's where those eyes of his can manipulate the entire defense as he sends this to Aldama on the backdoor cut. Now I understand the defense wants to stop Morant from getting to the basket, but there should never be a time where 1, 2, 3 defenders are all locked in on him, allowing for either a pass to Bane on this wing for a 3-pointer or Biyombo on this backside. But since this is the formation they're in, Morant can thread a no-look pass like Patrick Mahomes, and this one ends in a touchdown. These options right here will be something we see presented a lot for Morant coming up this season, because with his speed off these pick and rolls, it'll force bigs to get in front of him to slow him down, and with the help defenders aware that Ja could possibly speed past their big men as well, it'll leave them ball watching, forgetting that they have their own defensive assignment, and hey, here comes that alley-oop connection. The Grizzlies definitely missed Ja's presence when it came to playmaking on the floor, as it not only just provides them with these easy lobs on the backside, but when the defense is forced to shift over to cover the roll man off the screen, here's where you can utilize those long-range snipers, and this time, Morant isn't the one holding the gun. When you make the defense move like this, it'll give the cornerman the option to cut back door. They could also shoot the ball once they receive the pass, or since Trey Murphy right here is tempted to close out, they could swing it up to the man in the slot area, but Aldama is locked and loaded, so here comes another 3 points added to the board. Any slight movement on the court will unlock these passing angles, as here you can see Herter sliding over into the paint to be ready for Biyombo on the roll, so directly off the bounce with that left hand, Morant can zip it over to Luke Kennard, and when you leave a 45% shooter wide open, you already know what happens next. For those times the defense can't stop Morant from getting deep in the paint and having tunnel vision, it may seem too crowded to get a pass off, but with some finesse, Morant can wrap this all the way around a Kongu to drop it right in Tillman's pocket, who lays this in on the other side. Having that ability to put the pressure on the defense makes them pack up the paint like some luggage in a smart car, and now once you go for that steal, it puts you way out of position. Najee Marshall now has to play the middle ground between Morant and Williams, but honestly, there's not much he can do. Getting this high level of playmaking back is going to be huge for the Grizzlies, as Morant can direct his players to the exact position he wants them on the floor, manipulate the defense with the ball fake, and dime it right to the guy who's standing right behind the wall of defense. But it doesn't just stop there. When he chooses to enforce his will in the scoring department, Ja can get his body into the defenders with the low carry forcing the contact, and whether it's a cheap foul or not, this one ends in an and one. This right here is the level of craftiness you must have when your game is solely based on driving the ball, as defenders will do anything to try and not foul you, but when you can angle your drive into their space when they're recovering and gather right into the shot, this puts the defense in a vulnerable position making contact from behind, and yet again, it's another bucket plus one more at the line. When you have to deal with witty guys like Morant, you must beat them to the spot completely, because if you don't, you let him get low and into your hip, and if you're still sliding when he sells the contact, all he has to do is focus to bank this home and go knock down the free throw. Now don't get mad at me, I'm not one to judge whether these are true foul calls or not, but what I can judge is speed, and when Morant catches the ball and is able to attack downhill with momentum, you might as well just go put 2 points on the board. You can see here when he's receiving the pass, Morant's already in motion towards the rim, so with Fox having to plant first and then slide to keep up, this puts him in a bad position to stop the drive, and as you can see, he was unsuccessful. I honestly can't stress it enough about how detrimental it is to give slashers a head of steam towards the basket, because even if the defense is at the rim waiting on him, well, he can soar right past them and lay this in gracefully. If you ask me, having that absurd downhill speed is what combats any defensive tactic, because with the defense at your mercy, you're able to act like you're going one way to then change directions utilizing that low carry, and with momentum in your favor, you're able to get to the other side of the rim for the finish while the defender has no chance at stopping you. On this play right here, guarding Ja this high to deny the ball is for sure way to get beat, because eventually Morant will slip free and have a wide open runway ahead of him, and with Jaren Jackson on that 3-point line, this makes Miles Turner hesitate to step all the way over, so the only defender to beat is Tyrese Halliburton, who Morant can high carry over to complete the bucket. In my opinion, I'm not exactly sure why defenders think they're going to slow him down by picking him up far away from the basket, as all this does is put you in a foot race that you're most likely not going to win. But on that flip side, I kinda do understand why you would want to make him feel a little uncomfortable, because if you do allow him to get into his groove and dictate the speed he wants to play at, then here's where he can burst into this spin on the attack and put the game away with the floater in close. It truly gets difficult when you have to figure out a way to stop such an elite driver, as Morant can turn the corner in a flash to get a bucket. At times when he does arrive to the destination in a quick second, he can pause to get your big on a trampoline to then finish the short push shot. And let's just say you do get solid help when he attacks downhill, well, Ja can use that acrobatic nature of his to maneuver the ball in the air to avoid the contact and spin this off the glass in high fashion. It's extremely key for less physically imposing guys to be able to hang in the air, because there will be those times where you clash inside with the trees, and if you can out-hang them to then readjust for the conversion, well, you're pretty much a walking cheat code. I bet on this drive here, AD thought he was in perfect position to block the shot, but with Ja absorbing the contact from Davis, he's able to use that to shield off AD, so he can now convert this and one with the left hand. But hey, not every time he'll be able to clash inside and use force to score, so that's why that hang time is so valuable in these situations. With the smoothness, Morant can feed these crossovers, which allow him to get the advantage on the defenders, and in this case, when he's dealing with a 7'4" Victor Wembanyama, that in-air adjustment is extremely major. I mean, don't get me wrong, he could serve that cross jab combo to then dunk it right over Wemby, but you tell me, don't these times when Morant swiftly crosses over to then reverse it in on the other side look a little bit more sweet? I know some of you will probably disagree and say the dunk was way more eye-catching, but when you see that Morant can handle the ball to then shake a defender before gliding inside for a bucket, you have to be somewhat amazed. It's not necessarily that you're amazed by the handle in itself, as these are moves that we've seen all types of guys do, but it's the fluidness behind these actions that make everything so much better. If he's attacking the rim and being targeted by a defender, well, Ja can use that tornado to avoid the defense to lay it in. When he's pushing downhill and uses that cross jab, the defender is gearing up for a layup attempt, but Morant can stop on a dime to float it over the top. And for something we all would love to see going into next season, if Morant can show this level of craftiness and shot making from that in-between range, this will give the defense major problems every single night. It sucks that his season was cut short, so we couldn't see if that jumper was fully developed or not, but going into this season, we will be able to see his game on full display. The Grizzlies definitely missed his presence, and with him returning, this squad should be able to make some noise in the West, and for anyone who ever slept on Ja Morant, they will fully be awakened. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.